try to advance innovation and progress and speed up the benefits that we can deliver to consumers. I have a long tradition at Real Estate Connect that I'd like to again do today. I'd like to ask all the people in the audience who used a personal credit card, and this tends to be the entrepreneurs and the realtors who don't have a company or a corporate credit card. I'd like to ask you all to stand. If you've used a personal credit card to come to New York or pay for your registration, and let's give them all a round of applause. You are my inspiration to work very hard over the next 3 days to make this valuable to you, because you sacrificed to come here. And so we have a great lineup. We have 150 speakers. We have a tradition of pouring on the content. We don't give you a lot of breaks. And the reason for that is this audience tends to be pretty serious, and this year for sure. Surprising to us, we have as many people here as we did last year. So I think the demand for intelligence and information and understanding has never been greater. We have a great lineup. We shift the schedule all through the months coming up to an event, and there were the extraordinary few months coming up to this event. It really forced our hand. And so you'll see a lot of information on the market today, a lot on global innovation technology, and some more market information tomorrow, and then a blend on Friday. It became clear to us as things shaped up in the fall and the fourth quarter and third quarter that we really need to try to help people understand where this thing's going, because it's very hard to get your mind around it, at least it is for me. I'd like to start off with a little story. My son Cal, who's now 25, when he was about 5 years old, he had two imaginary friends, and they were called Hee Hee and Goggle. I always thought he was very close to getting Google there. And Hee Hee and Goggle lived in this little closet in the front of our house. And he would bring them out occasionally to dinner, and we would set up place settings for them. But a few years ago I thought, you know what, that was a pretty good idea. That seemed to make Cal very happy. So I decided to invent an imaginary friend, which I've had the last few years. Now let me tell you about my imaginary friend. His name is Mitch, and he has kind of some strange behavior. He sleeps for about 9 months, and he wakes up and comes out, and he asks me for an update of what's going on in the world. So he's been around for a while, and I've never done this before. Hopefully it's okay with all of you. I'm going to bring Mitch onto the stage, and I'm going to update him in front of all of you. Is that all right? Okay, so I'd like to, Mitch is sitting over there. Come on up, Mitch. And give him a round of applause, because he's a little shy. Hey, dude. Good to see you. So, Mitch, you won't believe it. There's been a financial meltdown since you went to sleep 9 months ago. Yeah, financial, no, I'm not BSing you, unbelievable. Some bad news for you, Mitch, you lost your job. Yeah, and guess what? 2 million other Americans lost their job in the last year. In fact, in December, there were 695,000 unemployment claims in just the month of December. Remember, your 401k is now a 201k. It dropped 50%. Last year, $6.7 trillion of equity in the stock market was lost. And by the way, no, it's the truth. It's unbelievable. No, I'm not fibbing. Remember that sure deal you had with Bernie Madoff? Sorry about that. Oh, by the way, your mortgage is no longer with Countrywide, and your stock brokerage account is no longer with Merrill Lynch. B of A bought both of them. Right. I think they're safe. I don't know. Everything's insured now. Remember WAMU and Wachovia? Poof, they don't exist. Yeah, I know you had your savings account in Wachovia. Yeah, I don't know who owns it. I can't even keep track. Oh, by the way, you didn't make payments in your mortgage for 9 months, so you got foreclosed on. There were a lot of people, though, that tried to make their payments and couldn't. 1.8 million people last year were foreclosed on in the country. Unbelievable. It's just staggering. Some political surprises, though, since you went to sleep. The Republicans nationalized banks. The federal government now has stock in 206 banks. Who would have thought 6 months ago when you were sound asleep? So what happened? I don't know, Mitch. There's so many theories and explanations. But I did read a recent a new book out that I recommend to our audience here, The Ascent of Money by Niall Ferguson. And he describes it as an inverted pyramid. Debt was on the top, assets at the bottom, and it got wider and wider and it finally collapsed, almost like a Ponzi scheme. So I do have some good news for you. Gas prices, when you went to sleep, a barrel of oil was 145 bucks. It's now about 50 bucks. We have the lowest gas prices in 6 years. No, not $5 a gallon anymore. It's like $2 a gallon. Mortgages, interestingly, are getting close, some predict, to 4%. Why is that? Well, you get your yield in short-term treasuries now are about 0%. 0%. We now have 6 million home listings, so if you ever get your act together, Mitch, and buy a house, there's 6 million home listings out there. And to give you some idea what that means, 3 or 4 years ago, there was only 1 million listings. So there's a staggering amount of opportunity if you want to buy a house and get a mortgage. Another big shift, Mitch, was this cultural shift. When you went to sleep, the evening news was filled with Paris Hilton getting arrested in Beverly Hills and all these celebrities. And now, guess who's a celebrity on the evening news? PhDs in economics who are describing public policy and history and economics and finance. America's never been uplifted intellectually so much in such a long time. One other incredible piece of news, we have a new president. We elected an African American. Unbelievable. Oh, McCain, yeah. McCain was nominated, he ran. As VP, a moose hunter from Alaska. So what about Obama? This man is full of hope. In fact, there's a new statistic out. The amount of hope in the United States has gone up 87.3% in the last 3 months. In fact, some are worried about a bubble in hope, Mitch. But not me. That's kind of all we have right now. So that's the update, Mitch. I suggest you go back to sleep and come back in 6 months. And I'd like to ask my audience to give a hand to Mitch for coming up here today.